Good evening, MLS Next Pro fans, and welcome to the scenic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Finley Stadium, our site for this Match Week 14 Eastern Conference showdown between Chattanooga FC and Red Bull New York 2. Two of the top 8 teams in the East trying to prove their position within some of the playoff candidates in 2026. But into this midsummer period where there's quite a lot of changes happening for New York Red Bulls, who started the season off undefeated, but they haven't won in their last 3 matches. Chattanooga, on the other hand, coming into this one 7th with 6 wins, 5 losses, and just 1 tie on the season. Let's get into our starting lineups. First, for Chattanooga FC, and interim head coach Richard Dixon sets up a 4-3-3. Amzian Sid Mohand, number 11, will join the front line for his first start in MLS Next Pro. He is up top alongside Alex Krell, who has been on fire lately, scoring in 3 straight matches for Chattanooga FC. The midfield reinforced with Isaiah Jones and Tate Robertson, who we've seen often as a right back as of late, but he has played some center mid this season, so Yves Chayap slotting in at right back, and Robertson patrols the midfield to add a little extra creative juice and set-piece threat from the middle of the park. Eldin Jakubovic returns to the lineup after being out against Orlando, and he makes his 50th appearance for Chattanooga FC from the start. Now let's check out the New York starting lineup, led out by Dominic Vollert, the first-year head coach, and it's a familiar 4-3-3 for the Red Bulls. Up top, it's going to be Christian Gallagher, 18-year-old academy product, making his first start. However, in his 4 appearances off the bench this season, he does have 2 goals. Benny Rodriguez was the star in their last match against Carolina Core FC, and he is back in there on the right wing. Nate Worth, the captain, is in the center of the park, flanked by Sokolov and Kone. And in goal today is going to be Austin Causey, making his first start of the season with 2 New York goalkeepers out on youth international duty. But Causey is a very experienced player and one who held it down between the sticks for Red Bulls during their playoff run that last year that led them to the 2025 MLS Next Pro crown. Causey, at 24 years old, the oldest player in the starting lineup. Only 2 others in the starting 11 for New York are above the age of 20. It is a team full of youth, coming off a match last week against Carolina Core, which ended in a shootout win for New York that featured their youngest starting lineup in club history, with an average age of just 18.5 years. So it is the youngsters of New York against the more experienced Chattanooga FC. A dueling matchup of styles as Summer of Soccer in Chattanooga kicks off on this Saturday evening. Parker Johnson here with you the next 90 minutes and whatever may come after for MLS Next Pro action here on MLSNextPro.com. And of course, One Football, where you can find us all season long. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Of course, lots of people getting excited with the nearing World Cup. USA playing their send-off match today. And the Spain national team arriving in Chattanooga yesterday, where they will make their base camp during this summer's festival of football. So some great energy in the air, and you can see the impressive crowd out to cheer on Chattanooga FC, which has been the heartbeat of this great soccer town in the South. Trying to add to it by taking down one of the front runners in the East today in New York Red Bulls 2. The reigning champs started off the season 9 matches unbeaten with 7 wins in those first 9. However, since then, it's been a little bit of a skid, winless in 3. Chattanooga will set up for the early free kick here. 2nd minute of play. Tate Robertson starts in midfield today. The set-piece maestro. He can deliver. He can shoot. He can come up with creative solutions. And this is a tricky angle to do it from. But he's got options towards the back post. That's where he sends it. Sarsar was hanging out back there. It's eventually cleared now by New York. Trying to dribble out there was Benny Rodriguez, and he is taken down as Chattanooga retreat defensively. Rodriguez, number 83 for the Red Bulls, 18-year-old academy player who was the star of the show last week when they drew 1-1 in regulation against Carolina Core. He had the lone goal for New York, a beautiful strike in a transition moment that they executed early on in that match. It was 1-1 at halftime and stayed that way before they won the shootout. Rodriguez did score his penalty in the shootout as well. Direct ball. Alex Krell had some space in the box, tries to knock it off, and the swiveling shot saved by Causey. The direct play from Chattanooga FC. So key to their style as one of the older and more physical teams in MLS Next Pro. They try to pick on some of these younger sides with balls over the top. It was something that Dominic Vollert was very aware of when we spoke to him this week about the threat that Chattanooga possesses. Red Bulls just about able to deal with that on one end, and they create a chance on the other end. Here's another look at that run in behind by Krell. The nice headed touch to get past Sanchez, but then good recovery defending from Modelo. And as New York scrambled to get some bodies behind the ball, it was Robertson's shot that didn't cause too much trouble for Austin Causey. Corner kick for New York. Too close to Eldin Jakupovic, the 41-year-old goalkeeper. Born in Bosnia, capped by the Swiss national team, who will be participating in the World Cup this year. He played for them in the Euros back in 2008. And this summer, Switzerland will be in a group with Canada, Qatar, and his native Bosnia. Robertson onto the loose ball, resets the possession for Chattanooga FC. Up the line, Anton Sorensen from left back, working against Sanchez. Seen out of play, throw-in coming for Chattanooga. And expect them to take this long. It's how they scored one of their 2 goals against Orlando City B last time out. It was a 5-2 defeat, but they actually went up 2-1 in that game. The second goal coming from a situation like this. It was flicked on at the near post before being plowed home by Luke Husakiewski. Throw comes in. First flick from Chattanooga. The shot from Damian Barker-John. Deflected and finally sent away by Paul Sokolov. You could see the danger that the long throw presents, though. It's extra set piece opportunities for a team that is very good at capitalizing on those kind of plays. Sid Mohans. Knocking it over the top. Krell on the chase. Bounces for Robertson, who slots it home. And in the 7th minute, Chattanooga FC in front. Who else but Tate Robertson, his 5th goal of the season. It's a long ball from Sid Mohan, not dealt with well. Krell pressures, heads it on, and it squirts through the legs of Austin Causey. A composed finish from Tate Robertson. He can play right back. He can play center back. He might as well be your center forward. He's had the 2 best opportunities of the match so far. He buries the second one. And Chattanooga in command. Robertson coming off a season where he scored 9 goals for Chattanooga. Had 2 goals in his last 4 matches coming into this one, and he is on the score sheet again. Such a danger no matter where he lines up. He's got that nose for goal that is instinctual. It's hard to teach. Benny Rodriguez trying to spark a response from New York. Taken over by Worth. Now it's back to Rodriguez. Has a man over on the far side. Can't get it out to him. Touch past the defender. Jones takes him down. Free kick coming for New York. Rodriguez knew the contact was coming. All he had to do was get that little touch past Isaiah Jones. And it's a simple decision for the referee, who walks off 10 yards, ensuring that the wall keeps its distance. Nate Worth wasting no time setting up this dead ball spot. 23 yards from goal. Jakupovic spread to the right side of net. Worth going for the opposite side. Wasn't able to keep it on target. That is a very real opportunity for New York Red Bulls to level this match just a couple minutes after the opener from Robertson. They get it back here. Sokolov. He's got the run from Nelic. Instead goes to Worth. Poked through. On the run was Rodriguez. Krell holds it up. Bundled over. Clear foul from Aymar Sanchez. The Panama center back. Capped by the national team for the first time this year. And a few of his younger compatriots off with the Panama under-20s, and that's why they are not available for this match. That includes Mihir Jimenez, the goal scorer, who's got a pair of goals and 3 assists this season for New York. He's been their starting striker of late. Off on international duty. Contact through the back. It's a penalty to Chattanooga. Another ball over the top with Red Bulls unable to defend. Let's have another look at it. Flicked on. Krell contesting. Sanchez through his back. It's reckless. It's unneeded from the New York defender. And it's a penalty for Chattanooga. You know who's going to step up here. Tate Robertson, 4 for 4 last year. 2 for 3 this season. He's the man you want at the spot. Robertson on a brace. No sweat, and it's 2-0 Chattanooga. New York in disarray at the back, punished twice by Robertson. Chattanooga with a huge rebound coming off of that 5-2 loss last time out to Orlando City B. Already 2 goals to the good. Now, they were up against Orlando, but it did not look like this. It was not this ruthless and clinical, and it certainly was not this early. A 2-goal lead ahead of the second-place team in the Eastern Conference. Chattanooga's interim head coach, Richard Dixon, told me that the next level for this team is taking points off of those elite teams, those 1 through 4 in the table. That's how Chattanooga will be able to move up into the position they want to be, which is where they ended last season, 4th place, hosting a playoff game. Sometimes it takes some time to get that chemistry building throughout the year. But the benefit that Chattanooga has is this set roster. They don't have the changes in and out that you see from Red Bulls today, starting a number of academy players, guys who are getting their first pro starts. And that consistency starting to pay off as Sid Mohand carries it forward. Sorensen looking for the run of Krell. More positive play from Chattanooga. Direct and effective. And everybody getting involved. That time it was the interchange from the left winger, Sid Mohand, and the left back in Sorensen, who now will regain their original positions. We've seen it as well in that midfield area with Robertson and McGrath, who's back in there from the start. What's great about having the captain, Alex McGrath, back is that he can alternate between being an attacking midfielder, between being an 8, much like Robertson can. So if Robertson wants to make a run forward, he can cover. It's happened a couple times already. Real fluidity to this Chattanooga attack. Direct as it may be, there are layers to what Richard Dixon is building. Set a foul from behind. Referee pleased with the tackle as Yves Chayap clears it up the sideline. Krell walled off by Munson. The teenage center half making his second appearance for New York. We talked to Dominic Vollert this week about his extremely young starting lineup that took the field against Carolina Core last year. 18.5 average years of age in the starting 11, the youngest in the history of the Red Bulls second team. And he said that it was a great opportunity for some of those young players, especially playing against an independent club in Carolina Core, much like this Chattanooga team. They're older, they're more physical. Sid Mohand pressures on Austin Causey. Support for tonight's match comes from Erlanger, proud to be the exclusive healthcare partner of Chattanooga Football Club. Sorensen up the line for Sid Mohand. A bright start continues. There was a touch from Sanchez, but did it go back off the Chattanooga attacker? It did in the end. Goal kick for New York. Vollert was saying that these matchups against independent clubs who are a little older, a little more physical, really great testing grounds for some of these academy players. Players that he says could stay in the under-18s. They could, dominate. They could build a powerhouse program if they really wanted to participate in the MLS Next ranks. But that's not going to do these players any good in terms of their long-term development. And that really is the strategy for Red Bull New York, trying to get players into the first team. The likes of Julian Hall, Audrey Mehmeti that we've seen over recent seasons develop into first-team players, and important ones at that. And he loves these opportunities. I think he will relish having spoken to him in the fact that his team will have to dig out of a hole here, show some character, show a response. against this very strong Chattanooga side. Decent ball through. Jakupovic juggling confidently. There was a collision at the edge of the 18-yard box. That was Hanchard and Rodriguez colliding. Hanchard holding his hands out as if to say, what do you want me to do? It looks like he kind of stepped on Rodriguez. Didn't land with his full weight, but I'm sure that was a painful one for the young forward of New York. 18 years old, Benny Rodriguez, product of the North Carolina FC Academy. Up against the 24-year-old defender out of Baltimore, Hanchard. Finished his college career at Penn and then went overseas to play in the German fifth tier. Move that Chattanooga's sporting director called brave, and that's one of the reasons they signed him. He was willing to go out and take a risk to start his professional career. Comes into MLS Next Pro, and he's been an important piece for Chattanooga. Making his 9th start of the season at that center back position. Worth making the prodding run. A little bit of miscommunication there between Hanchard and Jakupovic, who's apologetic for his late call. Hanchard took control and took the safe route. We'll get a chance to see just how ambitious Chattanooga are here. Up to within 10 minutes. How do you go on from there? I'm sure they'll like their chances to hang on to the lead, but that is a long time. They are unable to create another goal to keep New York Red Bulls 2 off the board. Red Bulls have scored 26 goals this season in their 12 matches. Only conceded 16. Chattanooga, on the other hand, 21 scored, 21 conceded. Line splitting pass finds the feet of Damian Barker-John, accelerating past one, onto his left foot, cut pass, looking for Krell. That's the kind of buildup that Chattanooga wants to see, incisive and direct. It doesn't have to be long over the top. They will play through the lines quickly, and you can see the burst from Barker-John, who's been in great form recently as well. 4 goals this season. Only behind Alex Krell and now Tate Robertson, who's up to 6 on the year after his quick fire brace. Worth receives on the half turn. Space ahead of him. Rodriguez making the narrow run. Can't earn a whistle from referee Joe Sargent. He will get one this time, though. It's Jones fouling Rodriguez again. Rodriguez has spent quite a bit of time on the turf in the early going here. A glorious Saturday here at Finley Stadium. Wonderful venue that holds up to 20,000 fans. They're celebrating Margaritaville night for this one. There was a 5K fun run before the match. Early arriving fans received leis to get into the Margaritaville spirit. part of the wider summer of soccer that is kicking off in Chattanooga. You'll have the Chattanooga women's team with their home opener in the WPSL tomorrow as well. Rodriguez on the chase for New York. Big slide coming in from Sorensen. And it's back off of the attacker, out for a goal kick. Brilliant defending from Sorensen. Look at the distance he covers to whack it off the shins of Rodriguez. Sorensen, obscured below the far bleachers in your picture, has not gotten up since he slid in to win the ball. A little bit of attention first from Hanchard, and now the trainer's out to check on the Chattanooga left back. Sorensen, a Haitian native, a product of the Philadelphia Union Academy. Played originally for Union's second team after signing as a homegrown player in 2022. Spent some time in USL League One as well before joining up with Chattanooga FC. He's up at least into a seated position, but very slow to collect himself. Well, if you joined us late here, a couple goals early on from Tate Robertson, both the product of long balls from Chattanooga FC that New York just had a tough time dealing with. Robertson first scoring from open play on an assist from Alex Krell. Then it was Krell drawing the penalty, which Robertson converted to make it 2-0 back in the 12th minute. Red Bulls have had a couple looks at goal, but nothing too troubling for Eldin Jakupovic. A slow start on the road for a team that has not won in its past 3 matches. Their last win came on May 8th on the road against Toronto, after starting the season with 7 wins and 2 draws in their first 9 matches. It's been a little bit of a stumble. Sorensen still off the pitch, but starting to recover. Keeled over on the sideline, and Jakupovic finally ready to get us back in play. This segment of the match is presented by FTC Development, developing unique spaces that inspire since 1912. .86 degrees today in Chattanooga. That wasn't necessarily a first half hydration break, but it will have had a similar effect. The players with a chance to step over to the sideline, get rehydrated, get some instructions from the coaches while Sorensen got attention. Just curious if this gives a little boost to New York, who came out pretty flat to start here. But we know the talent that this team has, even with some of the players they're missing today through international duty. No first teamers available either, given the World Cup break for MLS right now. It's a new group of players who haven't played together a whole lot. Starting to feel this game out. It's Modelo. Swivel from Rodriguez. Knocks it back to Sanchez. Sarsar in a little bit of trouble as he plays it out. The right side goes Chattanooga, and they win a free kick. Breaking that spell of New York pressure and possession coming out of the stoppage in the middle of the first half. Those are the moments you can see the experience of Chattanooga shine through, especially in defense. They know when these little pockets in a game that could potentially undo them and how to manage them. Now it's Parker John. Deflected shot. This will trickle out behind, and it will be a corner kick for Chattanooga. Robertson calling out the play. Some hand gestures as he strides over to the left corner, trying to add an assist to his 2 early goals. Talking to from the referee as Sid Mohan's in some traffic at the back post. Towering Munson defending him. Robertson goes near post. Header there from Sarsar goes off of New York last. Parker John trading places with Hanchard. Nobody at the front post this time. Just one in the middle of the goal. Now he moves into that near stick, and they'll do it all again. Third time, not the charm for Robertson, but he picks out a second cross. McGrath a little too eager to try to win it back. Near post, but credit to New York Red Bulls too, defended it well. Didn't let any space sneak through. Chattanooga this season, including today, they've scored 23 goals, and 13 of them have come from open play. So 10 out of those 23 coming from dead ball situations, be they corner kicks, free kicks, penalty kicks. Team that is absolutely ruthless in those situations, and any time that you can defend a set piece well is a small victory as an opponent. Sarsar chops it back, cleared by Hanchard. Sid Mohan looking to take on his man Modelo. Munson carries it forward. Cut back, top of the box, Sokolov. Help arrives from Robertson. Now it's Benny Rodriguez. Setting up his man, shifting it to his left. Sokolov fires a shot. Too many blue and white shirts in the way. Chattanooga with some good box defending. As the waves of pressure started to mount from New York. Want to dress like the pros? Grab your official Chattanooga FC jerseys, hats, and Adidas fan gear today at shop.chattanoogafc.com. And if you do that, you could be just like the Spanish national team. Saw some pictures on social media today of the staff members of the Spain national side who are staying in Chattanooga for the World Cup. getting in the team shop and picking out some Chattanooga FC gear. Such a cool opportunity. Richard Dixon said he feels like this summer is going to be momentous for soccer on this continent. Dixon, somebody who played at Chattanooga FC before becoming a coach. 92 appearances, ranked third in the club history at the time. Played across here, big save from Jakupovic. Helping Chattanooga retain their 2-goal lead. It was the early cross from Modelo. Had the man through the middle, Gallagher. But the reactions from the 41-year-old Jakupovic have not slowed down even a little bit. Last year's MLS Next Pro Goalkeeper of the Year. With eyes on his third shutout of the season. Corner on the way for the Red Bulls. Swerving. Dribbling. Near post shot. Rejected by Jakupovic. And that was off of Chattanooga. Another corner for New York. Look at that last opportunity again. Slick dribbling. Going past Robertson and then tries to catch out Jakupovic. It's going to take a more clever finish than that. And then Sid Mohan cleaning up defensively. And look at this setup from the Red Bulls. Circling around the 6-yard box. Whip delivery. Chattanooga players getting in each other's way. Did not look good for, I think that's Robertson. No, that's Alex McGrath. Coming over to check on him. Robertson, the man on the ground. It was Robertson and Sarsar, I think, who hit each other in the air on that devilish delivery. McGrath having a word with the referee. Making sure everything's in place for Mr. Robertson. But Eldin Jakupovic playing his part here after his attackers gave him a 2-goal advantage. Making a couple of big stops in quick succession, handling these set pieces, and now having a word with the guys on his back line. Just making sure everybody's organized. It was clear to see how much they missed him last week. Both Farid Sarsar, who is very much the organizer of the defense at center back, and Jakupovic did not play against Orlando City on the road. Chattanooga conceding 5 in that match. Most lopsided tally of the season. But this has been a strong bounce-back performance. I asked Richard Dixon this week what they needed to do to turn that around and make sure that they didn't repeat the performance against Orlando. He said that they needed to set the tone against New York and not be reactive like they were against Orlando. And that has certainly been the case through 35 minutes. It only took them 12 to build up this 2-0 lead. We can definitely expect a hefty chunk of stoppage time when we do reach the 45-minute mark here in the first half. Diagonal ball played out. Rodriguez will keep it in play. Outside foot cross. Sanchez over to Munson. Robertson looking back to himself. This is a bit of a new role from what I've seen of Chattanooga over the course of last year and this year. Robertson almost operating as the shadow striker behind Alex Krell today, with McGrath more of the central midfield presence. Rodriguez, a wild whack towards goal. Spins off the outside of his foot. I don't think that's exactly what he had in mind. The execution, not quite where it was for him last week against Carolina Core. Chattanooga definitely have the numbers and the space to play it short, but Jakupovic sending it up towards the halfway line. Barker John, the open man there, closed down by two Red Bulls players. Sokolov going down, wants to play this quickly. He's got a man through the middle. Play on, says the referee. Rodriguez, tackle from Manchard. And now the other way goes Chattanooga. Sid Mohand with a 2-on-1. Forward to Alex Krell. Krell on goal. Causey saves. Back out for Robertson. You would have bet the house on Alex Krell to finish that one off. Set up by Sid Mohans, a man who has scored in each of his last 3 games for Chattanooga FC. Krell unable to find the back of the net. Causey was quick off his line. Able to keep the deficit at 2. Just remarkable how quickly that quick free kick from New York in the attacking half turned into a chance for Chattanooga on the other end. Jakupovic with 2 steps out early, read that, and was out to collect the cross. He's got a couple extra words there for Nelic, a player less than half his age, Dennis Nelic, the 18-year-old. And he picks up the yellow card for the late contact on the goalkeeper. Jakupovic still feeling that last blow from Nelic. Taking his time here. Very aware of the clock and the game situation. His 8-second timer runs out. Drops it down to the floor and then boots it long. Krell with the first header. Chattanooga have won all of these 50-50 type balls, especially anything played over the top. Dominic Bullard said that Red Bulls spent time in training this week working on dealing with those long ball situations. Something that caused them problems not only against Carolina Core, but in the games prior as well. back-to-back losses they suffered to New York City FC 2 and Connecticut United. Rodriguez fairly asking the question, how many times do I have to be fouled before somebody gets a yellow card on the other team? Spent about 30 of these 42 minutes on the ground, it seems like. And that is permissible to be given as a yellow in the laws of the game. Doesn't matter which player commits the fouls. If you commit persistent infringement on the same opponent, it can be a yellow card. So we'll keep an eye on that. Less than 3 minutes until we hit 45. Worth on the free kick. Munson was the target. It skims off the top of his head. Chattanooga in no rush to get this back in play, although the referee urging them to hurry things up with Chayap. Sanchez picking out the diagonal, well read by Chayap, and heads it back to his goalkeeper. That's what we were waiting on. 5 minutes of first half stoppage time. Confirmed by the fourth official, Dorian Del Toro. The long injury stoppages to both Anton Sorensen and Tate Robertson throughout the first half for Chattanooga FC. So all that clock management over the last couple of minutes just to get to 45. Now, we'll have to extend 5 minutes more. They are to keep this score at 2-0 heading into the break. It would be a potent time for New York to strike. This is going to hold up for Krell. Gets the first touch. Now working on the retreating defender Sanchez, and between him and Munson, they finally take care of business. Or do they? Modelo stabbing back in to get it away from Sid Mohans. Just feels like every time that ball is played through, somehow Chattanooga gets on the end of it, even when it doesn't seem like they have much of a chance. Nelic going one-on-one, back heels forward. Sokolov picks it up. Now Worth. Gallagher went for the sneaky pass through. And Krell will just win his team the throw-in. A couple words here from Richard Dixon as he makes his way back up to the forward position. It was cool to hear those two speak with the media. A couple games prior, after Chattanooga FC took down Carolina Core, Krell scoring in that match, his little 3-match scoring run, and he said that Dixon put his arm around him, told him that those goals were going to come. Just had to keep his head down, and once they did, the floodgates would open. All of a sudden, he scored in 3 straight matches, 6 on the season to lead the team. Had the assist for Robertson's opener and has been extremely threatening throughout this first half. Player that Dixon said has elevated Chattanooga. His will to win, which they call the ganas in Spain, where Krell came up the last couple of years playing in the 4th division. That's what sets him apart. Foul by McGrath on Gallagher. Red Bulls put it back into play quickly. Modelo sprints forward. Rodriguez on the ball. Amar Modelo. Now it's Worth. Flip to the back post, set in the middle, off the upright. A huge chance on the stroke of halftime for New York Red Bulls 2. Might be time for one more attack. Rodriguez stops, turns, back post ball, headed away by Chayat. Worth on the ground, picking out Rodriguez. Gallagher, low center of gravity, maneuvering around Hanchart. Kone loses out. Jones plays it through. Krell running behind yet again. A whistle from the referee signaling would appear to be a foul on Jones, and they may just opt to use this as the halftime stoppage, but we haven't gotten the official signal from the referee just yet. That's the point that Fareed Sarsar is making. Jakupovic sets up the free kick. And there is the halftime whistle. After 51 long minutes, it only took 12 for Chattanooga to build their 2-0 lead. A first half brace from Tate Robertson, who climbs up into a tie for the leading goal scorer this season for Chattanooga FC. They've got 45 more minutes to hold it out. Our score at the half is Chattanooga 2, New York Red Bulls 0. Coming up in our halftime show, we go from coast to coast to profile a pair of players, plus highlights in our upcoming schedule after this timeout.
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the City of Angels to the Heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
A spectacular start to the summer of soccer here in Chattanooga. Home side up 2-0 on the visiting Red Bulls of New York. Let's head to the Tar Heel State and meet one of the cogs in the Carolina Core Club, Anthony Sumo Jr. Later, we'll go back to earlier this season and flash it back to our meeting with LAFC midfielder Brian Moyato. Let's take a look at those features.
I just love to score goals. I just love to make the fans happy. I just love to see other people smile.
Sumo Jr. slaloming through, and that's just staggering from Carolina Core. Sumo Jr. trying to head it along. Sumo Jr. tucks it in, and it's headed down and past Juan Rojas. Anthony Sumo Jr. the breakthrough.
Growing up in Liberia, I grew up just watching people play at a high level. Like my dad played for the Liberian national team. All his brothers, they all play for the Liberian national team. All my uncles, everybody that I grew up around, George Weah, they all play at a very, very high level, and my eyes was open to it at such a young age. And just talking about it makes me passionate because football was the only thing they had, and it helped change their life, and it helped change my life. So they all just helped push me.
Growing up around the game gave Anthony an early love for it. But there was one person he always aspired to be like.
When you're very young, you just play for fun. You just have fun. Every time you see a ball, it's like it releases all your troubles, all your problems, and you're just playing and just enjoying yourself and having fun. So I never really pay attention to being a professional soccer player, but I knew I always wanted to be like my dad. And I always wanted to be like him personality-wise, and how he raised me, how he grew up, the amount of integrity he had, and how he respected other people. And those are the things that I wanted to be like first before I even thought about being anything else.
When Anthony moved to the United States with his mom and sisters, life changed quickly.
Migrating from Liberia to the United States, me and my mom and two little sisters, it was very interesting at first because we never really thought about moving to a different country and changing our life, leaving our families behind, and just leaving a lot of things. So just migrating over here and coming to the US, we faced a lot of adversity, and my mom, she had to go through the mud to work every day, 2 or 3 jobs, just for us to have the opportunity that we have today. I give thanks and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in today, because I think he gave me the strength and the courage to keep driving, to keep striving every day, because life is not as easy as you think it is.
No matter where he was, the game always felt the same to Anthony. It was the place where he felt most like himself.
My dad always tells me that. He always tells me you was born to be a professional football player, or you was born to be a football player. No matter where you play at, football is still the same. Whether you play in mud, play on sand, it's still the same. It never change. So for me, whenever I step into any environment, whenever I step into anywhere, I just pray to God for him to shine his light through me so I can be able to do what I love.
We're not able to get it through, and a quick counter for Sumo. Gets a shot and scores! Sumo strikes back for Carolina!
Carolina Core gave Anthony an opportunity. That trust is something he carries with him every time he plays.
Carolina has changed my life, and they were the first club to give me the opportunity to achieve my dreams, and I'm just grateful and thankful. That's why every time I step onto the field, I want to give everything that I can for this club and for the fans and everybody else.
My name is Brian Mollado. I play for LAFC 2, and my position is center defensive mid.
For Brian Mollado, wearing the black and gold has been more than a dream. Growing up in Los Angeles, Brian found more than just a club. He found a home.
It means a lot. Growing up here in LA, this is a club that gave me a lot of opportunities, and which I'm really grateful for. Not only me, but my family. We're really grateful for this club, and it means a lot to me. You know, just wearing this badge every day, coming into the facilities every day, it just gives you that energy to work hard and just keep on progressing every day.
From the academy to the professional stage, Brian has grown with LAFC, on the field and off of it.
This club changes you a lot. It matures you at a young age for sure. I had a big injury 2 years ago, so I feel like that injury for sure made me more mature outside of the field. And also just the staff here for sure they push you outside of the field to be your better self.
That growth soon turned into recognition. Brian was named to the inaugural MLS Next All-Star Game in 2022.
You play with all the best from MLS Next, so it was a fun game. I had a lot of fun. It just gives you that encouragement to keep on pushing. And, you know, I told myself, you're doing great, but the job is not done. So just keep on pushing.
And in 2023, Mollado achieved a milestone that meant everything, his professional debut.
It meant a lot, not only for me, but for my family. We were very grateful for that opportunity that LAFC gave me. And that only meant one step closer, which was getting to the first team level. So it just motivates you to keep on working. It was a big accomplishment.
As a player, Brian prides himself on keeping things simple, dictating tempo, and doing the work that often goes unnoticed.
The way I would describe my game is, it's pretty simple. I keep it simple. I don't like to be too flashy. You know, 1-2 touches. I give some, tempo to the game. If we gotta play quick, then we'll play quick. If we gotta keep it calm, then we'll play calm.
What I like about Brian is that he's someone that has dealt with adversity. He's been through the injury process and has worked himself back to really good rhythm. He has a vision and really links us up in the midfield position to progress the ball in our possession progression. He's a hard worker and very good professional.
Mollado's journey has also included the honor of representing the U.S. on the international stage.
It was amazing, man. Those are good memories, memories that you never, take for granted. It was great opportunities. It gives you exposure not only from here, from LA, but from all over the world. And it meant a lot for me, just putting that badge on for the first time. It just gives you that energy to, represent your country at the top level and give it your all every game, I feel like just the intensity of these training camps is just so high. Everything is just so intense that you're always at your 100%. Bringing that into this environment back not only helps me, but also helps my teammates.
Through it all, Brian remains grounded, humble, hardworking, and focused on enjoying every step.
Thanks for hanging out with us here at halftime, and very cool to hear those stories of the young stars coming through MLS Next Pro. Here's a look at the latest scores for us, including a couple other matchups going on tonight. Crown Legacy up on Philadelphia Union, Toronto FC in front against Huntsville City, and out west the Portland Timbers leading on Vancouver Whitecaps 1-0, along with a couple scores you'll see from last weekend. What a turnaround for Chattanooga, right? 5-2 loss last weekend against Orlando City B, and up 2-0 in our match today at halftime. And then we can flip it over and check out the upcoming slate. What else we got going on this weekend? Nice set of games on Sunday, and a few more even on Monday if you're so inclined. Need to try to kill some time in the anticipation of the World Cup starting next week. You got a slate of 4 matches coming up tomorrow, 6, 7, 8, and 8:30. Nice stagger for everyone. And then a little afternoon action on Monday with Columbus and CT United fighting for some of those spots in the East, all in and around where Chattanooga and the Red Bulls started off. Very competitive conference as always, and still elbowing around for position here as we enter the month of June. Now let's take a look at our first half highlights. 2-0 at the break, 2 early goals for Chattanooga FC. First, it was Alex Krell running through, and they weren't able to capitalize on this opportunity, but it was a good teaser for what was to come. Look at that, another ball over the top. Krell fighting for it again. This time he heads it forward. Tate Robertson is there, slips it between the legs of Austin Causey, who came out in goal, but just wasn't quite able to make the save. A pretty accomplished finish there for Robertson, who has played as almost a second striker today. It was shortly after that that the Red Bulls got a free kick. They had plenty of chances to threaten the goal, but just weren't able to put enough shots on target in the first half. And then 5 minutes after Robertson's opener, a penalty conceded by Sanchez, and Robertson stepped up to the spot and knew exactly what to do with it. That made 2 goals on the day for Robertson, and from there, it was relatively smooth sailing for Chattanooga. This, one of the best chances coming from across from the right from Modelo. They would also strike the post later on in the first half, but ultimately scoreless after 45 minutes. So there it is, 2-0 your halftime score. We're going to step aside for one more short break, and then we'll have the second half coming your way. So don't go anywhere.
Yeah, boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Done setting in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as we get set for the start of the second half between the homestanding boys in blue and the traveling Red Bulls of New York. 2-0 your halftime score. Chattanooga in front after 2 first half goals from Tate Robertson, taking him up to 6 on the season, 14 in his MLS Next Pro career in 2 seasons and some change. A very impressive return for a player who we've mostly seen play as a right back for Chattanooga, has spent a little more time in midfield this season, and even tonight, stretching up into almost a number 10 position, a second striker, if you will, as he picked up the pieces on those 2 early goals. But a response needed for New York. Dominic Vollert's team, full of youth today. No first-team players, 8 players on international duty, ranging from U17 up to the senior national team. Rolled Mitchell with Trinidad and Tobago for some pre-World Cup friendlies, although his country won't be participating, helping some other nations tune up. Nelic. Touch too big as he tried to cut back inside. We'll see how much urgency Chattanooga have to score a third. The tempo really slowed down as that first half continued for the home team. Understandably so with the early 2-goal lead, but it worked out at the break to a 35% share of possession for Chattanooga here at home. Red Bulls holding 65% of the ball. 9 shots in total for New York, putting 2 on target and striking the woodwork once. And no subs for now at the halftime break. There was a bit of rotation for Chattanooga coming off their last match against Orlando, getting some of the more experienced players back into the lineup who missed that match, like Jakubovic and Sarsar. Also, Alex McGrath returning to the starting lineup today after a spell out with injury. McGrath has been excellent when he has been on the pitch this season. Scored in 4 out of his 6 appearances in MLS Next Pro. After missing pretty much all of last season with a major knee injury. Onside here. Gallagher was able to get behind Sarsar, but his first touch let him down. Sid Mohans. Robertson with Barker John to his right. Damian Barker John working the interchange. Edge of the box. Went for the nutmeg even. Not able to pull it off. Causey clips it up to Philo. The left back committed to play his college soccer at St. John's. 18 years old, coming out of the Red Bulls Academy. He's been forced into a role at left back over the last couple of games. Kone initially won it back, and then the Malian midfielder whistled for the foul against Isaiah Jones. Brath on the run. Tried to set it back for Sid Mohans. Worth plays it forward. Gallagher. Deflected shot. Just caught his foot awkwardly and skews behind the goal, but it is a goal kick for Chattanooga. Like the ball was going to pop up perfectly for him. Much like we saw from Benny Rodriguez in the first half. The technique on the strike doesn't quite come off. Rodriguez can't get it to Sokolov. It's been sloppy in the final third from New York. Chattanooga so well set with their back four and then the four in front of them. They're hardworking and experienced team. You can see the depth shining this year as well for Chattanooga. Able to bring in Nathan Kohler when Sarsar was out at center back last week. Now Sarsar back in the lineup. Chayap coming in at right back, allowing Robertson to play further up the field and score the 2 goals. Sorensen on the move. Barker Johns in the middle. Oh, he met it well. It flashes just wide of the near post. Created by Sorensen, advancing from left back. The late run comes in. It's an inch-perfect pass. Barker John on his less favored right foot, but still made great contact with the ball. Very little room for error with all the Red Bulls defenders closing around him. Paul Sokolov spotted the run of Nelic. Cut out by the Chattanooga back line. Modelo. Still hanging on to it. Sokolov. Gallagher from the tight angle. Went for the cutback. Looked like the opportunity was there to try a shot at Jakubovic. Gallagher going for the unselfish play, looking for Nelic. And those two weren't quite on the same page. Another indication of the lack of connection between some of these inexperienced players on the Red Bulls front line. Gallagher making his first start of the season at center forward. Rodriguez just his 4th out on the wing. Rolled forward for Sorensen. Through the legs. Robertson arriving! Oh, the hat trick was in his sights. And he blasts it sky high into the Chattanooga sunset. Well, you try to hold it back as much as you can as a player, but there are those occasions where you see the chance building with so much time to think about it that you can't help but see the headlines a little bit before you actually put your foot through the ball. Felt like the case there for Robertson. New York trying to make them pay right away. Switched out to Benny Rodriguez on the right wing. Squaring up Sorensen. Going past with a step over. Still Rodriguez. Couldn't get it back onto his right foot. Looked hesitant to hit it with his left. But the moves were excellent. Ball won by Sarsar with the challenge from behind. Krell's got some space. Dueling with Munson. Robertson going ahead. Getting the ball from Barker John. It's Tate Robertson. Blocks off the line. Connor Philo saving his team, negating the hat trick. Stays 2-0. Robertson was able to sit, not quite sit down, but get it past Kone. Great recovery from Philo. Robertson setting up the corner. Parker John lurking at the edge of the area. Unmarked at the corner of the D. That's where it goes. Parker John. Complete misconnection. Robertson could have another chance to serve. Sets it up with the touch. Now driven towards the back post. Krell, chest down. Sid Mohand around the corner. Eyeing up the shot. It deflects in front. Jones is there! Three on the board for Chattanooga. A goal for Isaiah Jones. His first of the season. And the former Huntsville City man adds to the damage on the rebound. It was all set up by Sid Mohand. He puts pressure on the goal with the shot. What a touch this is to control from Jones, and then with full force, puts his left foot through the back of the ball and sees it hit the strings. A set of changes that Chattanooga had prepared before that goal came in, and one switch as well for New York. First, we'll see the entrance of Sean Batinger, the 17-year-old's academy player for New York. He is a attacker, making his third appearance of the season. And for Chattanooga FC, Tate Robertson departs with a couple big opportunities to get himself a hat trick, but 2 goals is a good day's work. Sid Mohand will also head off the pitch with a bump for Benny Rodriguez on the way. Anthony Garcia coming in, as well as Alexis Arua. And for New York, that sub for Batinger brought off Paul Sokolov. Arua. Parker John with sight of goal, plays it across. Krell with his 4th in as many matches. Chattanooga are rampant against the defending champs. Almost straight off the kickoff, Chattanooga comes the other way. Arua, the new sub, getting involved. Parker John with the slick pass across goal. New York undone at the back again. Causey doing the best he can to rally the troops, but it will be a long way back from here, down 4-0 before the hour mark. Tonight's match is brought to you by Vibrant Meals, chef-prepared meals ready in 3 minutes. Voted Tennessee's favorite. Certainly been a vibrant display from the Tennessee club. I'm sure there will be a few around MLS Next Pro tuning into this one, thinking, Chattanooga scored how many? New York conceded how many? Well, it is worth keeping in mind the players not available here for Red Bulls 2. A lot of changes for the Red Bulls coming off their undefeated start to the season, where you had more regular appearances from some first-team players who are now off for the summer. This team today full of academy talents. Rodriguez, Gallagher, Nelich in the front line. Philo, Munson at the back. Chattanooga at full strength. Parker John in again, taken down by the goalkeeper, who got a little bit of the ball, and then it's cleaned up by the New York defense. Man, the chances just keep coming for Chattanooga. Hooked away by Sanchez. Anything to get it out of their half at the moment. Tough tackle from Alex McGrath. Now it's Dennis Nelich. Going towards the end line. Well defended by Chiap. Goal kick as well for Chattanooga. Did enough to bounce it off of Nelich. Arua. Graff spreads the play out to the left, with Parker John enjoying some freedom on the opposite side from where he started. Since the subs, he's gone over there, and Anthony Garcia out on the right. Be a yellow card now for Aymar Sanchez, the New York center back. Coming in with the high boot on Jones. Truth be told, he was a little lucky in the first half to not get away with the caution. A couple of reckless fouls, including giving away the penalty kick for Chattanooga's second goal back in the 12th minute, but now Sanchez going in the book. Garcia flicks it forward, accelerates into the space. Philo trying to catch up, played across. Kone had a tough time getting it out initially. Now Gallagher having a run. Sarsar all over it. Garcia stayed on side here. Plays it in front. Krell had a tap in. Swing and a miss. But the offside flag spares his blushes after scoring that fourth goal just a couple minutes ago. Passage is the official ticketing platform of the Chattanooga Football Club. Lots of good stuff coming up for Chattanooga as their summer of soccer continues. They will be on the road for the next two matches against Atlanta and NYCFC. But But then it'll be back-to-back home matches as they wrap up June, and then they host on July 4th. That match taking place at the home of the Chattanooga Lookouts. A special occasion on Independence Day, the 250th anniversary. Red Bulls will continue on the road next as well. They have to travel to face New England. Then they will have back-to-back home matches to round out the month of June, but displaced at the moment with a lot going on up in New Jersey. Get back to that in a moment as the ball drawn across. Nelic deflected over and behind. Corner would be coming, but it looks like the referee will make sure that there's a substitution first. They will hold the subs for now. Corner comes in. Back post header. Modelo couldn't keep it down. Now we'll see the subs. 3 coming in for New York, 2 for Chattanooga. Start with the Red Bulls substitutions. In comes Ian Paula. And Troy Peniel, number 53. He makes his professional debut, 17-year-old, coming out of the academy. And those two are joined by Makan Sissoko, another loanee from Mali, from Galen Olympic in the Malian Premier League. So Paula and Paniel, the academy products. And then on the other side for Chattanooga, we see Yuval Cohen and Luke Husakiewski join the frame. Husakiewski scoring in the last match against Orlando. And Yuval Cohen making just his 5th appearance of the season after a serious injury in preseason. But he has been dynamic since his return to the lineup. He will give a new element to this Chattanooga attack for the closing stages. About 22 minutes left here at Finley Stadium. Husakiewski showing his physicality straight away as he combines with Jones in midfield. It's played forward looking for Barker John. Worth. Badinger. Kone. Cross comes in low. Husakiewski to meet it. Sissoko bearing down on goal. The soft shot in the end. You can see the wheels turning for the 20-year-olds. Second appearance for him this season. He did get a start on March 8th against Inter Miami FC 2. 55 minutes in that one. First appearance in about 3 months' time. Trying to claw Red Bulls back on the board. Header at the back post. Collected by Jakupovic. No Foe Brewing Company is the official craft beer of Chattanooga Football Club. Imagine the main objective now for Chattanooga is keeping that clean sheet. Just 2 in MLS Next Pro play this season. Danger unable to keep up. Join New York Red Bulls out of the Sacramento Republic Academy, switching coasts. Was able to make his debut May 17th against New York City, and then also came on in the last match against Carolina Core. And if you needed any idea of the confidence that this young man plays with, number 94 on the left wing for New York, went for the Panenka penalty in the shootout against Carolina Core, which the Red Bulls would go on to win after the Foxes hit the crossbar twice in that shootout. Strong physical play from Peniel. Tries to whip the cross in low. Sissoko in the way as much as anything. Another chance could come here for New York. Booted clear. Anywhere will do for Chattanooga. 18 minutes to see out what would be probably their most impressive result of the season. Prior to this, Chattanooga has not won a game by more than 2 goals this year. They did score 4 against Connecticut United back in March. A 4-2 win in that game. Had a couple 3-1 wins earlier in the season as well. Once against Orlando City B and once against FC Cincinnati 2. So if the scoreline stays as it is now, be pretty convincingly their most complete win of the year. That is Josh Munson on the grounds, 6'5" center back. Ranked as one of the top 10 prospects in the New York Red Bulls Academy by the U.S. Soccer Collective. Made his first start against Carolina Core. He was a player that Dominic Vollert highlighted on our call this week, saying how impressed he was with him coming into a tough environment in Carolina. One of those situations that for a young player making their first start can really go sideways, but he performed very well. Don't find a lot of left-footed center backs with his size and profile, and you can see why he's a highly touted prospect. Originally from Michigan, started in the Real Salt Lake Academy, joined up with the Red Bulls last August, head of the MLS next season. And because this is a head injury, he'll have to step off to the side and continue his evaluations, but there will be a Concussion substitution available should New York need to make a change. Meanwhile, Arua, the other man involved in that clash, seems like he is good to go. Anthony Garcia defended well by Connor Philo. Jones cuts it inside for Cohen. Drops it off. Barker John not able to get past Sanchez, who was on a yellow. Had to be careful with that tackle. Paniel unable to bunny hop it through. Now Chiap on the chase. We'll get there before Batinger. Arua working the right half space. Ahead to Garcia. Munson stabbing back in and using his long limbs to knock it out of play. The head seems okay, but a slight limp as he retreats to his center back position, and Chiap ready to load up a throw in. But he'll take it short with Fareed Sarsar. Sorensen selling Sissoko a ticket to the State Fair. Knocks it forward. Chiap. Arua. Jones. Damian Barker John. Clipped across. Cohen. Munson down again. Time I think he's favoring his leg, but hands on his head as well. Big concern here for Munson, who was just on the ground the play before and goes up for the header here. Take a look at the contact. I think it's on the landing. I mentioned that limp coming off of his last run up the sideline. He was favoring the left leg and then planted awkwardly on it as he came down from challenging for that header. Last thing you want to see at this stage of the match. Pretty much out of hand at this point, and the 17-year-olds once again getting attended to by the staff. We talked earlier about Chattanooga hosting Spain for the World Cup. New York Red Bulls with an opportunity to host one of the most famous World Cup nations as well, with their base camp in New Jersey, that being the Seleção of Brazil. Got to talk a little bit to Dominic Voller about the fact that they were hosting Brazil this week, and he said that, you know, they're leaving them be for the opening few days. Brazil just got in, still very focused on their training, preparing for the World Cup, but I mean, you see players posting videos of Neymar working out in the gym, and such a cool opportunity that really sums up what it is to be in the U.S. this summer with the World Cup arriving on home soil. And Red Bulls, as a club, will be right at the center of it. They're hosting watch parties throughout the summer up at Sports Illustrated Stadium. A couple of friendlies taking place today and tomorrow as well. And just all around celebration of the World's game. Munson, his day is going to end there. 81st minute, he departs. And the sub to come on is Malik Odeyinka, who is listed as a center forward, so this will require some movement of the pieces around the chessboard for Vollert to replace the center back Munson. It does appear that Odeyinka is going into an attacking position. So we'll see how this all shakes out for the Red Bulls. Only 9 more minutes to get through here, plus stoppage time. Causey still waiting for the ready for play signal. A harrowing return to the lineup for him. First start of the season for Causey. Watching 4 fly past him. Party continuing with the Chatahooligans. A lot for them to smile about. The drums have not stopped beating here in the heart of Tennessee. Sissoko continuing to be active out on the right. Quick throw heads his way. Engages Hanchard. Goes for the early cross. Odeyinka not going to catch up to it. Beatinger flicks it forward. Peniel. Kusikowski. Smart positioning defensively. Knowing exactly where that cross was going to come. And a free kick for Chattanooga. They're preparing to make one more change, but they will wait until the next opportunity, it seems. Arua in for a 5th. Good save, though, from Causey. New York's back line being held together by tatters at the moment. That ball comes through for Arua, well spread. Austin Causey making himself big, closing down the angle. But at this point, you've got Ian Paula making his professional debut, an outside back playing center back. You've got a winger in Sean Baitinger playing right back. Sanchez, the lone regular starter, still in there. And then Philo at left back, who has been put through his paces today as well. Chattanooga trying to strike a fifth. Cohen serves. Away goes Sissoko. Makan Sissoko. Sanchez. Baitinger. Coming into this match, Red Bulls head coach Dominic Vollert knew that they were going to have to rotate through some of these younger players given the guys who were missing. He said that even the ones who may not become regular starters, this precious experience at the pro level will serve them well in the long term. It's not going to be a game they'll want to remember, but one they can certainly learn from. And we'll see another young player coming in here. The first sub there was Junior Flores for Chattanooga FC, and then you saw Daniel Mangaroff make his way in as well. Flores going in at center back, replacing Hanchard. Flores, 19 years old, a former Argentina U18 international player who made his debut against Carolina Core in the Independent Derby a couple weeks ago. And of course, Chattanooga fans will know Daniel Mangaroff well. Still hasn't scored this season, Mangaroff, but this is his 13th appearance. 10 starts this season. Barker John, a little unlucky, I'd suggest, to not end up with a goal of his own, but did have a wonderful assist for that goal from Krell, who scored the fourth all the way back in the 59th minute of play. Chattanooga took control early. It only took to the 12th minute for them to take a 2-0 lead. Red Bulls just could not find a way back into it. They doubled that advantage in the second half. Goals in the 57th from Jones and the 59th from Krell put this thing basically to bed before the 60-minute mark. We've seen a couple of professional debuts. See Sissoko navigating up the right channel. He's been certainly one of the bright spots since he came on. Giving lots of trouble to Anton Sorensen over there at left back for Chattanooga. Yuval Cohen onto the loose ball. He's got Garcia streaking through the middle. Recovery defender is Sanchez. Cohen! couldn't get hold of the rebound. Good initial save, though, from Austin Causey, who has certainly prevented the damage from being worse. And now one last switch for the Red Bulls. Or perhaps not. Either way, just 3 minutes left here of our minimum of 4. 4 has been the magic number for Chattanooga. They will be back in action a week from today, taking the short trip to face Atlanta United on the road. And New York Red Bulls will have the extra day of rest before their matchup next Sunday on the road against New England Revolution 2. Garcia, couple steps behind the defense. Good recovery, though. Paula sprinting back and closing the space. You got to give credit to the young defender, Ian Paula, 18 years old, academy product, not giving up, fighting until the final minute here. It's been 0-0 since he came into the match, and he wanted to keep it that way. And that's the kind of attitude that Vollert wants to see from his young guys, getting these rare opportunities. And now we will finally get that sub for New York. So we've already seen 2 pro debuts for the Red Bulls, and this will make a third. Bradley Castro, 15 years old, born in the year 2011. Capped twice for the USA under-15 national team. He comes in to replace Christian Gallagher as he makes his professional debut. Looking at the absences in his team, some of the recent losses, the tough schedule, having to face a number of older independent clubs within this stretch for New York, Dominic Vollert said, we can look at it as unlucky, we can complain, or we can see it as an opportunity. He's chosen to do the latter, bringing up some academy players, trying to take everything they can from this midsummer swoon. Just seeing them slide slowly down the standings from their commanding position through the opening couple of months. But still primed to be in a good spot, especially once some of those first-teamers return and the regular guys come back from international duty. The full-time whistle, a 4-0 thrashing from Chattanooga FC, who put New York Red Bulls 2 to the sword. 2 goals in the opening 12 minutes from Tate Robertson. A 57th minute goal from Jones. A 59th minute goal from Krell, his 4th in as many games. But it all got started with our man of the match, Tate Robertson. Today's man of the match presented by Adidas. Robertson wasted no time getting on the score sheet in today's game. 7th minute of play. He was playing off of Krell, snuck in behind, and the finish through the legs of Austin Causey. Tucking it home for what at that point was his 5th goal of the season, but he wasn't done there. He would strike from the penalty spot 5 minutes later, drawn by Krell, as Robertson gave Chattanooga a lead that they did not let go of. And he is our man of the match, presented by Adidas. Well, for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, my name is Parker Johnson. Once again, our final score is Chattanooga 4, New York 0. It's been a pleasure to have you along tonight. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. We'll see you next time.
Reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.